Hi folks, Debbie Ray here with another Plant Tales video. This week, the plant I'm talking about is apple trees. I'm out here in the freezing cold to talk about them because I'm excited. I finally got out here 2 days ago and pruned them. And so I'm ready to report on their progress. Their tale began 8 years ago when I first went to a Midwest Fruit Explorers grafting workshop. And I grafted, with their help, 4 apple trees, 2 of 2 varieties. Here's one of them. This one is Williams Pride. And that tree is doing pretty good. And so is this one. This one is Prima. Both of these varieties were on my list of disease-resistant apple trees. And that is how I chose those scions at that first workshop. Because I wanted to grow and have been growing these apple trees with organic cultural methods. And disease-resistant is the best way to start. So these 2 are looking pretty good. Now the story gets more interesting as we move on to the 3rd tree here. And that's because its trunk, the whole tree fell over 2 years ago. I think that is because I don't have these original stakes in the permanent ones in the best spot. I could not decide when we first planted these trees whether they should go to the south or to the west. So I put them to the southwest. And I think with the way the wind comes through here from the south, that would have been the better side. So eventually I think we'll put another permanent stake across from each of these. These are all dwarf rootstocks, so the trees will not get too big. And they do need stakes to help them stay up over the years. But all is not lost, even though that trunk and that tree fell over. What I did the following year, which was last spring, was I took scions from my other Williams Pride tree and I grafted them onto several of the suckers here. And now I am so pleased to see that all 3 of the ones I did made it. They are still doing well here. You can see where the grafts are because I still have the tape and bands on. Those will come off. But the scion part growing above the graft is alive and well. So and I've left 2 plain suckers when I was doing the trimming, because who knows what's going to happen, and I didn't want to trim everything away and be left if one of these grafted parts decides to fail. The plan though is, if all goes well, that this one, which is straight and towards the middle, is the one that I'm going to keep and train as the central leader of this new Williams Pride tree. And all the others will eventually be pruned away. So that's the Williams Pride story. And then over here was the other Prima tree, which its graft failed that first year. So we had this rootstock growing here for several years. And then that was the tree on which I first realized that I could do the grafting outside in the cold while it's dormant in the winter. So I took several varieties of scions from my disease-resistant list and grafted them onto different branches of this tree. So that was several years ago now. And after pruning away all the suckers 2 days ago, it looks like I've got 2 of those grafts remaining. I've been calling it my Frankenapple tree because it was just a mix of varieties, and I'm not even sure what these you can see here where the grafts are. And I've lost a label here, and this one's not a good label, so I'm not even sure what varieties they are. What I plan to do is just every year, I'm just going to keep grafting what I can, a mix of stuff onto this tree. Why not? It'll be a fun experiment. Speaking of grafting more trees, one of the results of pruning these trees was that when I pulled up the suckers, I got half a dozen or so that still had roots attached to them. So I saved them. Here they are. And now they're going to become rootstock. I'm going to graft more apple scions onto them. And it's basically free rootstock as far as I'm concerned. So why not try to make free apple trees? And I'll let you know how that goes. But this is the story of my apple tree orchard here. And I'll come back next week with another Plant Tales video.